Do you wonder who is more powerful than any current world leader? Who built the Pyramid of Giza? Who lives inside of you and controls your thoughts? Sounds like a crazy conspiracy theory, but give me just 5 minutes. Toxoplasma gondii is a protozoan parasite whose definite hosts are cats. It has one of the most remarkable life cycles in parasitology. It can infect virtually any warm-blooded animal, but it can only reproduce inside cats. To complete that life cycle, it benefits if infected intermediate hosts, like rodents, are eaten by cats. T. gondii has an effect on behavior and cognition in its hosts. One of the most famous findings comes from studies showing that infected rats lose their innate aversion to cat urine. A 2000 study demonstrated that rats infected with T. gondii were less fearful of cat urine compared to uninfected rats. Some even showed exploratory behavior instead of avoidance. Later work reported that infected male rats exhibited attraction rather than aversion to cat odor, coining the idea of fatal attraction. Some studies suggest infected males may become more sexually attractive to infected females. T. gondii forms cysts in the brain, especially in areas like the amygdala, which regulates fear and emotional processing. Research suggests that the parasite may alter dopamine pathways. T. gondii possesses genes encoding enzymes involved in dopamine synthesis. Several meta-analysis and case control studies report that people with schizophrenia are more likely to have antibodies indicating past exposure to T. gondii than control groups. Human males with T. gondii were 4.5 times more likely to engage in promiscuous sexual behavior than males without it. Now let's talk about the pyramids. The Pyramid of Giza is the largest of the pyramids constructed in the early Bronze Age. Nobody knows who built it. The Nubians continued the tradition of building pyramids well into the Iron Age. Funny tradition. Why keep building something that takes so much effort and serves no actual purpose? What if I told you there is a purpose? These triangular structures help aliens navigate the planet, serving as a compass. How could Bronze Age Egyptians build a pyramid that aligns with the true north? Some researchers speculate that they used the Meridian Transit Method. This method requires the knowledge that Earth is spherical, which wasn't discovered even as a theory until the Iron Age. East Africans continued building pyramids even after the Egyptian Free Kingdom period. The Nubians built over 100 pyramids in the Iron Age. Weirdly, the precision of the compass alignment of the Nubian pyramids is much lower than that of the Egyptian ones. The size is much less impressive too. The tallest Nubian pyramid is only 1/3 the height of the Pyramid of Giza. Clearly, the Nubian pyramids were built by humans, and the Egyptian ones weren't. What other triangular structures can you think of? Maybe the Star of David? What about the Illuminati? What about the Great Seal of the United States, Google Drive, Adidas? What do they have in common with the Egyptian and Nubian pyramids? You're about to find out. The Egyptians associated cats with protection, fertility, motherhood, royal power, and cosmic energy. Remember when I said cats are the only host inside which T. gondii can reproduce? This is important. Egyptians even mummified cats, for example those at the catacombs of Saqqara. Why did the Nubians continue this goofy tradition of building pyramids? Are there some other traditions they picked up from Egypt? Turns out yes, and you guessed it, it's about cats. Bastet, the feline deity worshipped by the Egyptians, made its way into Nubia during the late Ptolemaic period. Cats entered southern Europe at the same time civilization started taking off in the region. Northern Europeans eventually adopted cats too, but much later, and coincidence or not, after they did, they immediately became civilized and started advancing. Think about this. For 1 million years, the genus Homo existed, but we only started advancing after we adopted cats in the Neolithic. The thing that the Star of David, the Illuminati, the Great Seal, Google Drive, Adidas, and the Egyptian pyramids have in common is that they represent technological and social progress. But is progress always good? Remember when I told you about changes in sexuality induced by T. gondii? LGBT is progress, pedophilia is progress, pederasty is progress. Okay, so these worms make us gay, they make us mentally ill, they change our behavior, but how does that tie in with the aliens? Very simple. The aliens use these worms to control the human population. The worms are in direct contact with outer space and with each other. But how can they communicate? They don't talk. They probably can't emit a chemical signal through the inside of a human body. The scariest part is they communicate with our mouths. Nobody who is in charge is alive. They're all under complete control of the parasite. Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Jeffrey Epstein. They've all been dead for a long time. Don't become an empty body controlled by the parasite. Fight for your soul. Boil your water. Take your ivermectin.